Hello people, whoever's watching this or anyone who's watching this. But today I was going to talk about, I'm going to try talking about something different every day. So today I wanted to talk about feeling uncomfortable on a camera, and feeling awkward, shyness and all that sort of stuff on camera. Because I don't feel very comfortable talking on a camera, but I've took it upon myself to try and overcome that and try and get used to it, and the only way to do that is to do it. But I think what it stems from anyway, like when I was a kid, I used to really, if ever there was a camera out or someone was taking pictures or anything like that, I had to be in front of the camera all the time. I used to love it. But as I've got older, and I reached a certain point when I got older, even when I was a teenager, I think I still like being in, if there was a camcorder out, if someone was taking photographs and stuff, I would like it, wanted to have my picture taken and that. But the thing with me is, it goes back to a stage in my life where unfortunately I had an addiction to drugs, and I won't go into what it was in this video. I'll go into that on another video. But basically what happened with that is that started off when I was using them drugs. It started off as a social thing that I was doing with my friends, and it went from that to being something that I didn't want to share. I want any drugs I could get, I wanted to keep them to myself. So all of us became very isolated. And then after that, the worse my problem became with them drugs, I was when I realized how bad this problem was and how much I needed to get off this stuff, I continuously tried to get off it. And the only way for me to do that was to isolate myself away from people, I couldn't be, if ever I was, all the people I knew was people, everyone I knew in my circles was people who was doing that sort of thing, So the only way to stop was to isolate myself completely and to take myself out of that situation completely so I could be away from it. And in doing that, it's taken so long for me, it's been such a long struggle with that. I mean, this goes back to when I was 15 years old. And then it went with the first real problem. It went from like 15 to 23. Then I had another, I've had other relapses with other things since then, and then with alcoholism and that, and binge drinking and all that. Basically, that became my my whole social existence, my whole socialization was to do with substance abuse. And anything outside of that, I was just isolating myself in order to get away from that, you know what I mean? And it had a very negative effect on me. So I'm 37 now, so this has gone way back to when I was 15 years old. So obviously that I imagine it's something like being like someone who's, I feel similar to someone who's been in like a long-term prison sentence or something in a way. I feel like I understand them in a way. It sounds crazy like, but that, that sort of isolation from real socialization, you know what I mean? But I'm taking it upon myself now to really do something about it and start to confront it, to face it head on in order to overcome these feelings of anxiety and all this sort of stuff that's just become, it's become from from that sort of habitual isolation, you know what I mean? But there's no way I'm ever going to go back to using drugs again now. The drugs I was using most recently, I've been basically, for like the last 2 years, I've been pretty much clean. Like last year I had a drink 3 times in the whole year, but I also did use cocaine. I did use that 3 times in that year, and that goes on to a binge for a few days, but it was very few and far between where I was doing it. But that's like the worst thing you can take if you're feeling anxious anxiety or anything like that, is the worst thing you can ever take is any of them sort of drugs, like stimulant sort of drugs, you know. It makes you feel even worse, you know. It might not make you feel worse when you're doing it, but, you know, it stimulates your nervous system and that, and it's going to make you feel it, you know, afterwards. I mean, I take something like that and I feel, even now, for weeks afterwards, I feel unable to sleep properly and that. And before that, when I was using that stuff regularly, I was barely sleeping. I would not be sleeping at all when I was taking it. And then in between binges, I was not sleeping. Like, I can't believe how much different my sleep has got since then. Since really cutting this stuff out properly, you know. It's cutting out all these binges for long periods of time. Like, I didn't sleep properly, I think, for like 4 years or something, man. 4 years of not genuinely real sleep, you know. I would sort of like drift off for a few minutes and then wake up and that. But yeah, sleep and all that is very important. But yes, this is what I'm going to do is just, I'm going to make a point of speaking about some of these subjects on the camera every day in order to, you know, overcome this habitual sort of weird awkwardness thing that I've developed, you know. But yeah, but I'll keep it up and see how I get on. All right, cheers.